just Jared. I wasn't able to make my bowl predictions yesterday with the rest of the squad because I had a couple band meetings to attend, so I'm here now to do exactly that. So you won't be seeing me because, well, my computer is kind of annoying that way, but so yeah, you'll just see the screen and then you'll hear my voice. So starting off with the Bahamas Bowl between Middle Tennessee and Toledo, I think Toledo is going to end up winning that. I haven't really seen either team play, so it's not really. I really can't say much. And then Coastal Carolina and Northern Illinois in the Cure Bowl. That game will actually be interesting. However, I do think that Coastal Carolina will win a close game. And then the Boca Raton Bowl between Appalachian State and Western Kentucky. Another game that'll be somewhat interesting, but I think Appalachian State's going to end up pulling away and winning by like 20 or so points. But the score won't say it, but it'll be a good game to watch. And then between Fresno State and UTEP in the New Mexico Bowl, I think Fresno State is going to win because they've beaten UCLA, they've beaten a couple good teams. So I think if Fresno State plays like they have all year, they'll win pretty handily. The Independence Bowl, we have BYU and UAB. BYU is going to win. I don't think there's much doubt about that. I think it could be a decent game. UAB's looked pretty good throughout most of the year, but I think BYU will win. And then Liberty versus Eastern Michigan. I think Liberty has been exposed time and time again. Eastern Michigan's just been meh. It's not going to be a very watched game, I think. But I don't know if I were to guess. I'll just say Eastern Michigan because why not? The LA Bowl between Oregon State and Utah State. Oregon State, their record doesn't really say because they had a really bad start to the year, but they've actually played one of their best seasons since 2012. Because that was their best by far, at least from when I've been watching college football since 2010. But Oregon State actually was pretty close to winning the Pac-12 North. They were just not able to beat Oregon. But Utah State has also looked pretty good throughout most of the year, with the exception of a couple games. I think this game will be pretty entertaining, and Utah State will end up out on top. And then Marshall and 23 Louisiana. Louisiana just lost their coach, but I still think that they're more talented than Marshall is, so Louisiana will win. And then the battle of a couple 6 and 16 for the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I don't know. I'll just say Tulsa. The Idaho Potato Bowl between Kent State and Wyoming. I think Kent State will win. Again, it's not going to be another good game. The Frisco Bowl between UTSA and San Diego State. This will be a fun game to watch. And I think UTSA will win. The only reason they're not in a better bowl is because of their loss to North Texas, but actually maybe not. I don't know. But either way, this should be a very exciting game. And I don't know if we'll watch it, but it'll be fun. The Armed Forces Bowl between Shocker, Army, and Missouri. I think Army will win. Missouri's been pedestrian for most of the year. The Gasparilla. I don't know. If it's Spanish, it's Gasparilla. If it's not, it's Gasparilla. Between Florida and UCF, a Battle of Florida in Florida. It's too bad South Florida's not in this because that would have been a glorified home game because that's where they play. Okay, enough from me there. But Florida's looked pretty bad this whole year, so I'm going to go with Central Florida. Frisco Bowl Classic, the Frisco Football Classic, which is what Mitchell got confused with this morning when I was talking to him. I don't know if he actually messed that up at all, but between Miami, Ohio, and North Texas. If North Texas play like they did against UTSA, they'll win, so I'm just going to hope that they do. And then the Hawaii Bowl, shocking, Hawaii and Memphis. Hawaii's looked terrible. Memphis looks terrible, so I'll just say Memphis. The Camellia Bowl between Ball State and Georgia State. I'm going to go with Georgia State. Quick Lane Bowl, we have Nevada, Western Michigan. I think Nevada will win. Military Bowl between Eastern Carolina and Boston College. Boston College started well against the cupcake teams they had in the beginning of the year, then got exposed time and time again when they had to play real competition. So I think East Carolina is going to win. Then the Birmingham Bowl between Houston and Auburn. Houston should absolutely destroy Auburn. The chokiest chokers to have ever choked. First Responder Bowl between Air Force and Louisville. Air Force should win that one pretty handily. And then the Liberty Bowl between Texas Tech and Mississippi State. I think we'll go to Mississippi State. It's not going to be a good. I feel like it's just going to be two teams tripping over themselves. Holiday Bowl between UCLA and number 18 NC State. That one, I mean, it's going to be tougher for NC State because it's in San Diego. UCLA is pretty much just playing a home game. So, I mean, NC State will, I mean, I think they'll still end up winning, but it's going to be a tough one for them. Guaranteed rate bowl between West Virginia and Minnesota. West Virginia's looks pretty bad. Minnesota, I mean, they've got a bit of momentum, so I think Minnesota's going to win, even though, I mean, momentum really doesn't matter because they wouldn't have played in a month. The Fenway Bowl, the inaugural Fenway Bowl, which was supposed to be last year but got canceled due to COVID. This one will be Virginia and SMU. I think SMU should win. Not easily, but I mean, Virginia just hasn't looked good in a while. So, well, in a while being 2 years, but yeah. And then Virginia Tech and Maryland, what used to be a rivalry because Maryland used to be in the ACC. Fun times. That would be the Pinstripe Bowl. Little Tua just isn't doing it for me. I think Virginia Tech's going to win. It's the Cheez-It Bowl between Clemson, who had the first time missing the playoffs since 2014, against Iowa State. Clemson will win pretty easily. The Alamo Bowl between Oklahoma and Oregon. Feels good to say this. Two teams that have all won their conference a lot from when I started watching college football, and finally they're just not in New Year's Six, neither one of them. Oklahoma doesn't have a defense, and they just lost their coach. And Oregon just got roasted by Utah again. So I have a feeling this one's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think Oklahoma will end up winning. And then the old rivalry, in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, the North Carolina-South Carolina rivalry is coming back. It is a pretty much home game for North Carolina, but that doesn't really matter. I think that the team that has Carolina in their name will win. I know, I'm hilarious. But South Carolina has looked a lot better than North Carolina the past couple of weeks, so I'm gonna go with South Carolina. Music City Bowl between Purdue and Tennessee. I think Purdue will win because Tennessee's really just not that good, even though, I mean, they're in a bowl, but whatever. Las Vegas Bowl will be Arizona State and Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin should win that, but that's the key word, should. Gator Bowl between 17 Wake Forest, who looked really good this whole year, but they're stuck now in the Gator Bowl, and against 25 Texas A&M. Wake Forest is the better team, but I don't know. They just haven't looked good since November began, although it is a new month. Although they're 0-1 in December too. But you know what? I'm going to go Texas A&M based off of momentum, even though they just lost to LSU. The Sun Bowl is Washington State and Miami. I mean, you guys know this. I don't know why. I'm just kind of reading this out loud to myself, just letting y'all know. But Washington State, again, also came pretty close to winning the Pac-12 North. And earlier that I said that Oregon State are unable to beat Oregon. If Oregon State had won that game, Washington State would have won the North. But it was actually a close, big Pac-12 North. So, and then Miami, who's had a tough schedule this year, coming out with a 7-5 record. I'm going to say that Miami will win. That one will be a close one. And then the Arizona Bowl between Central Michigan and Boise State. I think Central Michigan will win. And then the Outback Bowl between Arkansas and Penn State. I know biased Mitchell said Penn State. I don't even have to bother with that. Penn State, yes, yeah, I know they've already beaten a team from the SEC West, yada yada. But Arkansas, other than that 3-game stretch, they looked pretty good. They only lost to Alabama by 7, and I mean and that was just a week right after barely escaping LSU. So. And then Penn State coming off the blizzard loss. Not really a blizzard, but the snow loss in Michigan State. I'm going to go with Arkansas. I mean, Mitchell's not going to be happy with me. And he's the one editing. He's probably going to find a way for me to edit me saying Arkansas. Or, Penn State.
Editor Mitchell here. So basically, Penn State will win, and that's all I'm going to say.
Kentucky, Iowa, in the Citrus Bowl. I'm going to say Iowa. And then Kansas State, LSU in the Texas Bowl will be, I think Kansas State's going to win. And then now we have the Major 6 Bowls. I'm not going to lie. There's only one game that I'm really looking forward to watching outside of the playoff. And I think the only game that will actually be close, actually there's 2. No, I don't know about Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, but I think Baylor and Ole Miss, the Sugar Bowl, will actually be good. I think the Peach Bowl, Michigan State. I mean, even though they're one-dimensional, I mean, Pitt's defense has been awful this year. So I think Kenneth Walker's just going to run it right up through them, and then I don't know. I think Michigan State's going to win like 40 something to 20 something. Cotton Bowl between the playoff game between Alabama and Cincinnati. Alabama will destroy Cincinnati. I'm not gonna bother explaining. And then Michigan, Georgia. I think Georgia's gonna win. I know Mitchell also said Georgia because, well, he refuses to say Michigan. I mean, you can just ask him. He said Iowa was gonna win the Big Ten. Mitchell, I know you're gonna say, oh, I said no, Michigan's probably gonna win. Yeah, no, you said that Iowa's going to win because they're the better team. I've got proof that you said it, like physical, not physical, but proof. Um, but yeah, Georgia's going to win, and then Alabama will win the national championship. But the Fiesta Bowl, Notre Dame will unfortunately win against Oklahoma State, and Ohio State will blow out Utah in the Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. I think Ole Miss will beat Baylor. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think Ole Miss will win. So that is the end of the bowls for you. That was my bowl predictions. I mean, obviously, I just said that. But hopefully it'll be fun. I'm hoping Alabama doesn't win. But we do have breaking news. A few hours ago, Elaine Vigneault was let go as the Flyers head coach. And Michel Therrien, who was an assistant, actually I had no idea that he was also let go. And Mike Yeo, a former Blues coach, has taken over for AV as an intern. I think he's an intern. I'm not 100% sure, but Mike Yeo has taken over as head coach. So that's some breaking Flyers news. The Flyers have lost, I want to say, 8 in a row now. I'd have to check right off. They got Colorado tonight at home. Yes, they just lost 7-1 to Tampa on yesterday, actually. So the Flyers' last win came in overtime, November 16th against the Flames. Since then, they have lost 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row, including one in shootout, which was to Tampa, and one in overtime against Florida. So they've already played their 3 Tampa games, and all of that was within the losing streak. So they're done with Tampa for the rest of the year. If that's good news for the Flyers. But Elaine Vigneault is no longer the head coach for the Philadelphia Flyers. Mike Yeo has taken that job over. So I'd like to thank all of you for tuning into this little gig that I had. Hope to see you all next week. And go Flyers. Go Sixers. Go Fly Eagles Fly. And hopefully baseball's lockout doesn't last for too much longer. And go Blue as well. Sorry, Mitchell. He's going to cut it out. I know it.